Hey traders, Mike Katz here with 7 Points Capital's Trader Takeaways. Monday, I hope everybody had a good weekend. And today we got some action where the market did gap up a little bit and sold off. So finally we're getting some action here in the SPYs where the market did open higher but was selling all day long. We can see on our short-term chart that it's just kept grinding lower and lower, making lower lows, lower highs all day long, stayed below VWAP all day long. To be honest, I can't remember the last time we saw this in the SPYs. So we'll see if there's any continuation, if there's any follow through to the downside. But we do have some action where the market did sell off and it did provide for some decent trading opportunities. I personally was involved in a couple of names, AGEN being one of them. The stock had gapped up, and this is one of those symbols that doesn't act too well, and I wanted to be involved on the short side pretty early on, thinking that this is a symbol that gave back a lot of the gains in pre-market, and let's see if this thing wants to sell off. So right out of the gate, the symbol starts to go down. It opens here at around 490-ish, and before you know it, within a couple minutes, the stock goes down to 460. I wasn't involved in any of that yet, but we did get a lift. A small rally gave us another continuation type of consolidation, and then we did get another drop. I personally started getting involved right here, 464 on this red candle as it was starting to curl back down, and I did 464, 463. I think I had all the way down to 460, and my exit was 475, thinking that if it could reclaim this high right here, then it's no longer making lower low, lower high, and I will be out, and then we'll revisit the trade. So this was a good entry right here, and looking at the stock, it just kept on drifting lower, making lower lows, lower highs, and on this green bar here, I did cover 25% of my position, thinking that, hey, this came back and negated the previous red bar, had a lot of volume. So I was considering that this might be a reversal bar. I did take some off here at 455, and then it just resumed lower and kept going and making lower low, lower highs. And I was able to stay within with this one on the short side all the way to here, covering some in this area as it started to change course and no longer making those lower lows. I did keep a position on. I think I kept about 25% of my position over here, and when I saw that it was double topping here, nowhere near VWAP, I did re-engage here and get back in versus 465, thinking that it shouldn't be able to make it back up here if it's going to keep going lower. And so I shorted more here and just did kind of get out of it on the washout, scale out of it, and I went back to having 25% of my original position down here. And then when it did bump back up, I was not sure which way it was going to go, and it did take quite a bit of time to consolidate and go sideways, where I was thinking if this was weak, we should probably see another drop from here on. It did go sideways. It did go and take its sweet time to turn back down, which kind of made me back off of getting back in on another short position. So I had just 25% of my original position, and I did scale out of it down here. So AGEN was a good one. Let's see how it closed. A little bit off the lows. This will be interesting for tomorrow. See if it opens a little bit on the green side, goes green to red, might give us another trade. But big volume, 12 million shares for this one, opening at the highs and closing near the lows. And we love these types of setups. But the key was to get involved with this one early. Let's see, what else do we have in play today? GE. GE had an amazing move. Looking at the action from Friday on earnings, we gapped down, and the opening was pretty much a low tick, and then closed really strong near the highs, and the market was pushing it. There were definitely some big buyers. On Friday, there was a lot of our traders were interacting with a lot of block buyers that only trade with 10,000 or more. And today they didn't seem to be there, and there's a good chance that those are the buyers that were, pretty much in control of the stock on Friday, and by them not being around today, the stock was weak. And I personally had two trades in this one, two big trades. One was, I shouldn't say big trades, I should say macro trades. One was where I bought it down here thinking that this was bottoming and potentially curling back up, and we try to reclaim only half of Friday's green bar and see if we wanted to go red to green. And so I got involved here with a starter position, tiny, and it just never gave me a reason to get bigger. I had a small position. I ended up giving it some space till right 75 below this candle right here. And this was a pivotal point on Friday. And I said, if it's not going to be able to hold that figure, then I don't want to be involved on the long side. So I took a scrape here where I bought it and started with a starter, small feeler position, never added or anything, and then closed it out here. And then that kind of alerted me to try to see if I want to trade this on the short side. And there were some decent trades on the short side. I was more active short term than looking for swing bigger, longer term positions. So I was mostly doing a lot of in and out trading on the short side, making a nickel a dime at a time, and trying to pick off those moves. So there was a setup here where it broke 2260 level. There was another setup here when it broke 2235, and the big one was right here where it held 25 once, twice, three times, had a descending trend line, finally broke that 25 bid that was soaking in a lot of shares, that was taking a lot of shares, and then there was no follow through, just went down 1 cent, 2 cents, stayed sideways, and that was the key, that it couldn't really stay, I couldn't really get any continuation, and the sellers just were overpowered, and this thing popped up. So there was a nice long trade in here for us. So mostly I was focusing on short-term trades in this one today, and just trying to hit a lot of singles. There was one double in there, but no real home run trades in this one. So overall, market was good, a lot of action. AGEN had some really nice trades in there, and a few singles and doubles in GE, and this will be on our watch list again tomorrow. Did a lot of shares, 190 million, 180 million shares traded today, which is a lot. Obviously, you could do any size you want in this, which made a lot of us trade it short term and try to kind of scalp size short term. But inside bar today, the opposite of what happened on Friday. We opened and that was the high, and we closed near the lows. Will be interesting to see which way we break out. We might digest here where we have a day like this. Tomorrow, another inside day. No idea which way it goes, but looking at the volume profile, it looks like the stock likes $23 as prices, and it keeps on getting attracted to this area. So I'm going to watch this price. $23 will be pivotal tomorrow, and then if it breaks the low or the high, we'll trade accordingly. So thank you all for watching our trader recap. 7 Points Capital. Subscribe and give us a thumbs up.